Welcome back to Serving Our Heroes, the 99th American Legion Auxiliary National Convention. Here to begin this session is your National President, Kathy Duncan.
Good morning. The 99th National Convention of the American Legion Auxiliary will come to order. Reminder, please take a moment to ensure your electronic devices are in silent mode. Thank you. Chaplain Dr. Deborah Blanche will lead us in our invocation. Good morning.
Good morning, ladies. How are you this morning? Amen. Everyone that is able to stand, please stand. If you cannot, God knows your heart. Before we start this prayer this morning, let us take a moment of silence for all unspoken prayers. Amen. May we bow our heads and accept the invocation. Father God, as we gather for this meeting, give us the use of your gift of peace and understanding, that we may approach the matters we must handle with sincere and just hearts. May you watch over and guide us so the information our leaders give us today is received and understood, and that we will follow those guidelines. Keep us always true to the principles on which the American Legion was founded. We are prepared to go together into the next 100 years, and we thank you for the guidance to achieve this. We ask this in your name as we say together 3 times, amen, amen, and amen. Thank you.
Please be seated. Thank you, Deborah. Good morning, everyone. We began yesterday's session with some very special guests, so I thought it would be fun to do the same thing this morning. Yesterday, I talked about influencers and the profound effect they have on our organization and the lives of those we serve. This morning, I present a group of ladies who have spent a lifetime influencing the influencers to accomplish the mission of the American Legion Auxiliary, our past national presidents. By decade, please welcome the attending past national presidents of the American Legion Auxiliary from the 1990s. Linda Boone from the Department of Oregon, our 1992-1993 National President. Linda Newsom from the Department of Maryland, our 1995-96 National President. And Virginia Hobbs from the Department of Kentucky, our 1998-99 National President. Thank you, ladies. You're welcome. From the 2000s, Christine West from the Department of New Hampshire, our 2000-2001 National President. Our 2004-2005 National President, Sandy Dutton from the Department of Maryland. Our 2007-2008 National President, Jan Puvamaka-Ryan from the Department of Wisconsin. Miriam Youngie from the Department of Ohio. She earned the title of Honorary National President in 2009. We have Desiree Stoy from the Department of Ohio. She was our 2008-2009 National President and 2009-2010 National President from the Department of New Mexico, Rita Navarrete. Thank you, ladies. From the 2010 decade. Our 2010-2011 National President, Carlene Ashworth from the Department of Texas. Our 2012-2013 National President, Peggy Thomas from the Department of Virginia. Our 2013-2014 National President, Nancy Brown Park from the Department of California. Our 2014-2015 National President, Janet Jefford from the Department of Connecticut. Our 2015-2016 National President, Sharon Knatzer from the Department of Illinois. Our 2016-2017 National President, Mary Davis from the Department of Washington. And our immediate past president, 2016-2017, Diane Duchek from the Department of Wisconsin. Thank you, ladies. Let's give all our attending past national presidents another round of applause. In keeping with my theme, Serving Our Heroes, yesterday we met our first of 3 Woman of the Year honorees. This morning, I present to you Leslie Lightfoot. Please watch the screen.
The American Legion Auxiliary proudly honors Leslie Lightfoot as their 2019 Woman of the Year in recognition of her lifetime commitment to men and women veterans in need.
I became interested in the service, I think when I was 9 years old probably. My dad had given me his Purple Heart, and even though I didn't know exactly what it was, I knew it was extremely special to him, and I think that probably set the stage for my future. My childhood friend was killed in Vietnam, and I was going to go avenge his death and save the world, and so I became an Army medic.
Leslie served in emergency rooms at Fort Dix and in intensive care at Landstuhl Regional Medical Center during the Vietnam War. Her experiences prepared her for a lifetime of service for America's veterans.
As an Army medic, I worked emergency room on Fort Dix and then intensive care in Landstuhl. And then when I got out of the Army, as a medic, I don't think you ever feel like you've done enough. So it was just the natural path to keep trying to do for vets. After I got out of the Army, I went back to school. I used my benefits. I got a couple psychology degrees and became board certified as an expert in traumatic stress. So I've done counseling for 40-some years with veterans who've experienced trauma. And I also set up some programs for veterans.
Those programs founded by Leslie are under the umbrella of Veteran Homestead, a not-for-profit agency geared to helping men and women veterans in need.
There are 6 programs in the Veteran Homestead. The first one was the hospice. Each program is geared to a different problem that a veteran might have. The hospice was designed basically for veterans who were too sick to take care of themselves and didn't have a family and didn't have anybody to change the sheets or care about them. And then as it progressed, we took in the Hero Homestead, which was for mostly for elderly vets, but all the programs combined drug and alcohol treatment as well as homelessness, and sometimes just guidance is all they needed. The Armistice Homestead was basically drug and alcohol rehabilitation. We have a program in Puerto Rico, the only program for veterans specifically in Puerto Rico that was for drug and alcohol, but it kind of encompassed everything, homeless veterans as well. Then we started the program in Gardner, which was for veterans coming back from Iraq and Afghanistan who really didn't know how to integrate back into society. We even had active duty veterans come there because they didn't have enough money to live on their own.
NVTRC features beautiful, modern, community-based housing that offers counseling for PTSD, recreation area with a lap pool, workout area, and a physical therapy center available to residents, facilitated by volunteer clinicians.
And we had the Veterans Victory Farm in New Hampshire, which taught them, it was really animal therapy, because animals are so good for people who really can't relate to another person, but you can tell that donkey anything and he will never repeat it. So that worked out very well. They grew vegetables and sold them. It was a working farm.
Leslie's children have followed in her footsteps of military service.
I have 3 children who are in the military. I have a daughter who's a lieutenant colonel in the Army right now. I have an Air Force daughter who teaches Loadmasters, and I have a son who's an Iraq and Afghanistan veteran who has come home with a minor head injury. I'm retired now. I spend my time living in the Bahamas and fishing and spearing lobsters, so that's all good. And the DAV is taking over the programs. They're going to run them the way they were intended to help veterans. It's so exciting. I could not be more thrilled that they're doing it.
Leslie has a message to all ALA members.
Just remember this, if I can do this, anybody can do it. And the bottom line is just get out there and help a vet. No matter what it is, just go do it.
Thank you, Leslie Lightfoot, for your lifetime of dedicated service to our men and women veterans.
Please give a warm American Legion Auxiliary welcome to Leslie Lightfoot. You will get to hear Leslie at the luncheon today. Thank you, Leslie.
Thank you.
This year, the focus of past President's Parley was mentorship and camaraderie, showing the next generation what positive leadership can do. Here to share her report, please welcome National Past President's Parley Committee Chairman, past National President Jan Povemacher-Ryan. Jan?
Good morning, President Kathy and members. Past presidents, what comes to mind? A group of little old ladies knitting or crocheting at meetings? Or a group of energized and engaging women who stay involved in camaraderie with each other, who serve as a source of knowledge and support to members at every level of our organization? Past presidents should be the backbone and the front line, energizing other members to accept responsibility as officers and chairmen to continue our work for the military, our veterans, and our communities. Past presidents mentor, advise, and support, and that should be the role of all of us as past presidents. We need to be available to willingly offer our assistance when asked. We need to utilize the experience and expertise of our past presidents to ensure a strong leadership for the future of our organization. Past presidents are a gold mine of knowledge. We should, as past presidents, continue to pay back to an organization that gives us so much. Among those gifts are the many friendships we form with members in the organization. The reports I received this year emphasized many specialty programs for our female veterans, gifts for our unsung heroes, including assistance with housing and comfort items, stand-downs, reaching out with birthday cards, Veteran Day cards, and other holidays. Many shared stories of visiting with shut-ins at home and in VA hospitals, driving them to medical appointments, shopping for groceries, household duties, and caring for children. Training for future leaders was provided in many departments to safeguard the future of the ALA. Numerous departments reported units with past presidents serving on every committee to assure the guidance necessary to implement each program and develop leadership within their units. One district leadership chairman held a number of successful leadership roundtables, engaging past presidents at every level, from units, counties, districts, department, and national, with future potential leadership possibilities, invited to listen and learn from these members who had served in presidential roles, and then shared their expertise with these members attending the roundtables to encourage them to accept the challenge of serving in a presidential capacity. The training and experience of past presidents can be extremely useful in any activity needing special support or emphasis. Past presidents are willing and able to share their experience and knowledge. You simply need to ask. Units are encouraged to start past presidents' parleys that can support unit activities and utilize their personal skills. They provide training and encouragement to members by providing them with the tools to fulfill the duties of their position. It is encouraging to note that departments continue to support scholarship for nurses, many with significant dollar amounts and the numbers awarded. Illinois, again, founded an incredible 28 $1,000 scholarships. Way to go, Illinois. Units invited female members of the American Legion to their parley luncheon. Some units encourage members to take advantage of websites to help build future leaders. It was fun, they stated, watching the light bulb go on when these new members learned something new. Many departments reported honoring a living past department president at their annual convention with a reception, luncheon, or dinner. As we all know, the purpose of the Past President's Parley is to utilize the experience and knowledge of past auxiliary leaders for training and encouraging future auxiliary leaders. Through this committee, women who have served as presidents have an opportunity to continue an active service and are not relegated to sitting on the shelf gathering dust. These women help to ensure strong leaders for the future of the ALA. Serving with me on this committee is past National President Carleen Ashworth. She followed up with departments for the important work of honoring the Unit Member of the Year. I am pleased to report that we will be honoring 49 very special Women of the Year awardees at our luncheon after this session. Past National President Nancy Brown Park was involved with the mentoring opportunity for all departments. Now, let's turn our attention to the honor of saluting our great active duty women. Every branch of service is being recognized today. Choosing winners this year was challenging as there were so many nominated. Thank you to each department who submitted great nominations. Every service member accomplished so much in her career, as you will learn, as well as she has given back to the community. Each of our honorees will receive an award inscribed with their name, rank, branch of service, and the following. For honorable military service in the War on Terrorism on behalf of a grateful nation, presented August 2019. Our first two presentations will be read by past National President Carleen Ashworth.
Thank you, Jan. Representing the Air Force, it is my pleasure to introduce Lieutenant Colonel Rochelle Hartz. Colonel Hartz began military service as an Army ROTC cadet in 1986. She enlisted in the Air Force December the 29th, 1988, and has won numerous awards. Rochelle has been a registered nurse and South Dakota Nurses Association member since 1994. She has a Master of Science in Nursing for Community Health and also holds American Nurses Credentialing Center certification in medical surgical nursing. She has worked in civilian, federal, and military healthcare settings, caring for patients from birth to death. From 2007 to 2008, Rochelle deployed to Balad Air Force Theater Hospital in Iraq in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. And from 2011-2012, she deployed again to Ahmed Al-Jabar Air Base in Kuwait in support of Operation New Dawn. In Iraq, she was the assistant nurse manager on the intermediate care ward, a 28-bed inpatient medical surgical unit. The nursing team cared for 2,800 patients, assisted 20 critical care aeromedical transport teams, and supported 1,200 Aerovac missions, earning the reputation as the busiest ward in the AOR. During her deployment to Ahmed Al-Jabar Air Base in Kuwait, Rochelle directly supported 4 doctors and 2 independent duty medical technicians as the sole clinical nurse at a minimal capability ambulatory clinic, serving a base population of nearly 1,000 active duty members, resulting in 3,600 patient visits. She coordinated all patient care for higher echelon services, over 200 referrals for specialty consultations, 17 ambulance transfers, and 7 Aerovac missions out of the theater of operations. She provided direct critical nursing care for 2 medical and 3 cardiac patients during ambulance transports, safely delivering the patients to the emergency care facility over an hour away. From June 2014 to June 2017, Rochelle was stationed at Landstuhl Regional Medical Center in Germany, a 100-bed trauma center. She was the deputy chief nurse and flight commander for inpatient services, leading 328 personnel on the medical, surgical, pediatric, intensive care, inpatient behavioral health, and contingency operation units. In June 2017, Rochelle took command of the 5th Medical Operations Squadron, Minot Air Force Base, North Dakota, and was selected for promotion to colonel. Please help me thank her for her service as we welcome Lieutenant Colonel Rochelle Hartz.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting us here today, and Carleen, thank you for that lovely introduction. I am deeply honored to stand with you and my fellow service women in recognition of service to veterans and to our country. So I would like to express my appreciation to Barb Vetter and Jody Moritz of the Faulkton American Legion Auxiliary, Unit 102 in South Dakota for nominating me today. Faulkton is a small town, and when I was growing up, I delivered the Grit newspaper. I remember passing the Legion Hall and reading the many names on the stone out front, wondering about these men, their lives, and how they died. I've been involved with my hometown American Legion Auxiliary for many years. I come from a family of veterans. My dad, my mom, Many uncles, my sister, and our husbands have all served. My dad and uncles served in Vietnam, and my sister and I serve in the ongoing War on Terror. And my children are preparing for their own careers in the military now. Many of you, like me, have children or grandchildren who do not remember or have not experienced a time in their lives when we as a nation were not at war. It has been 18 years since September 11th, 2001. Many young men and women entering the military now were not even born when 19 terrorists attacked our nation, hijacking 4 planes and killing almost 3,000 victims in the Pentagon, the World Trade Centers, and the plane that crashed in Shanksville, Pennsylvania. It is a direct result of the events on September 11th that continue to drive my service. We still have young men and women serving, and as a nurse, it is often on their worst day when I interact with them, or worse yet, their remaining family members. This last year marked the 100-year anniversary of the end of World War I in Europe. Although at the time it was called the Great War, or the War to End All Wars, because it was so horrible, no one thought any nation that had experienced those great losses would ever enter conflict again. More than 4 million American military personnel served in World War I. More than 100,000 of them never returned from conflict, although our involvement was not as great as the Europeans. All total, at the end of the war, there were 9 million dead, 21 million wounded, and we now recognize it did not end all wars. The people of Europe are to this day so grateful for the sacrifice of the Allies during World War I and World War II that they hold ceremonies to commemorate our American military service members who fought and died to free their country. So it is with great appreciation that I thank you, the American Legion Auxiliary, for continuing to honor our men and women who serve in the military.
Colonel Hartz, the American Legion Auxiliary would like to recognize you for your outstanding contribution for both to the U.S. Air Force and in your community. Please remain on the stage as we honor the 4 other branches of service. Representing the Army, it is my pleasure to introduce Chief Warrant Officer 3, Kaylin G. Harrington. She initially enlisted in the U.S. Air Force in September 2001 and then completed an inter-service transfer to the U.S. Army in 2009 with the honor of receiving the above-named officer appointment. She now is active in the Maryland Army National Guard. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Harrington currently serves as the Senior Training, Advising, and Counseling Officer for the Maryland Army National Guard Warrant Officer Candidate School, 1st Battalion, 70th Regimental Training Institute. She is an active member of the American Legion Riders Post 18 and supports numerous veteran organizations in the community. She is a full-time student pursuing her Bachelor's of Science nursing degree and works at University of Maryland Shore Health Emergency Room. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Harrington has completed 6 combat deployments with assignments including Military Intelligence Mentor, Afghan National Army Special Operations Command in support of Operation Freedom Sentinel, Deputy J2 2nd Battalion 75th Ranger Regiment, Fort Lewis, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, Female Engagement Team, 5th Special Forces Group, Special Operations Task Force East, in support of Operation Enduring Freedom, All Source Production Chief, S2A 2nd Brigade, 25th Infantry Division in support of Operation New Dawn. Interrogator, 201st Military Intelligence Battalion deployed in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. Intelligence Analyst, Joint Special Forces Task Force with deployment in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom. During one of her 6 deployments, Chief Harrington lived among the civilians in the Afghan village. Her assignment was to build relationships, get a sense of the locals' concerns, and try to persuade them it was in their best interest to resist the Taliban. During that year-long stay in the Afghanistan district of Muhammad Aga, she watched as Afghan girls walked for miles to get to their schools. Even though conditions in those schools were deplorable, Harrington, along with other members of the unit, led a campaign of humanitarian work which helped thousands of girls get educated, delivered food and supplies to abused women and orphans, provided safe play areas for children, and improved conditions for young mothers. She and fellow soldiers led the construction of a building, 10 bathrooms, and a water storage tower at Grish Kavor Girls' School, attended by 2,700 girls aged 6 to 16. They improved security around the school and raised enough money from non-military sources to provide about 500 desks and chairs, thousands of books, and more than a ton of school supplies, including notebooks, crayons, and backpacks. It would be folly to believe the team's work will end centuries of gender inequality or resolve any of Afghanistan's other complicated problems. But she knows a small but well-placed effort can lead to larger than expected results. All you have to do is touch 1 or 2 people, and that 1 or 2 people can start a ripple effect. Harrington says we'll never know how many people we've touched or how many lives we've saved. Chief Warrant Officer 3 Harrington is an exemplary citizen and soldier, whether assisting in motorcycle classes at Fort Meade or playing with children at the hospitals in Kabul. Chief Harrington is the face of women in the military. Her incredible service is probably one of the reasons there were so many service awards and decorations listed on her entry. Please help me thank her for her service as we welcome Chief Warrant Officer 3 Kaylin G. Harrington.
Thank you so much for having me here today. And yes, the foot cast is from a motorcycle, just not my husband, as many people have asked me. So, my husband and I are both Legionnaires and American Legion Riders at Post 18. Woo! In Centerville, Maryland. I heard some Maryland out here. So I'm going to use my time to tell you a quick story, and I promise I'll tie it back to this incredible award and how much it means to me. So the last few years, I have been honored to be part of a program called Veterans Charity Ride. And this nonprofit takes able-bodied combat motorcycle riding veterans like myself and pairs them with severely, catastrophically wounded veterans. So amputations, PTSD, brain injury. And what we do is we put the veterans in sidecars or on specially modified motorcycles, and we pair up and we head across country to the famous Sturgis Motorcycle Rally in South Dakota. But, And the founder of this program is a veteran himself, and he often says that his goal for that program is to get these wounded veterans out on the road to really see the incredible country that they have sacrificed so much for. And where else can you get closer to God than on a motorcycle? As evident. So this year we had Matt, a double amputee who lost both of his legs and part of his arm in Iraq. And up until a few months ago, he was completely homeless and living on the street. We had Sarah, a combat veteran herself, whose significant other had recently taken his own life after returning from a tough deployment. We had Paul, an infantry airborne ranger from Iraq, now fighting stage 4 prostate cancer due to burn pit exposure. And we had Eric, a Marine who lost half of his platoon and his own right leg when the bridge he was guarding in Fallujah was blown. Pretty ragtag group of veterans, right? So along the way of this 3,000-mile motorcycle journey to Sturgis, we stop at the same towns and cities every single year to fuel up, grab some food, and spend some time, maybe spend the night at a hotel. And in the 5 years since this program has started, something incredible has begun to happen. These towns have essentially started to shut down to welcome us. Regardless of weather, time of day, or obligations, they line the roads with giant American flags, they wear red, white, and blue, they pull their children out of school, and in a town of a population of just 100, somehow 250 people suddenly appear. Oh, thanks. American Legion riders and other local motorcycle groups escort us in. The police close the roads and fire trucks line the overpass. And when we finally stop, people literally run to us to wrap us in hugs or quilts that they have made for us. Grandmas have packed Ziploc bags full of cookies that they shove in our saddlebags when we aren't looking. And in Colorado, Legion riders slept on the front lawn of their Legion to ensure they would have breakfast ready for us at our 5 a.m. departure. And this scene plays out over and over again through Utah, Wyoming, South Dakota, and Colorado. And something amazing starts to happen. You see the wounded veterans' walls start to come down. Veterans who flinched when you touched them now open their arms wider for hugs. Guys or gals cry tears for the first time in years, and others stand off to the side simply in shock that strangers could love them so much. In Utah, I watched a Marine Vietnam veteran who had come to welcome us into his town break down into tears. And I watched Eric, the one-legged Marine, dismount his bike just as quickly and wrap him in a hug with the words, "Welcome home, brother." And at the end of the 3 weeks, we always ask the veterans, what was your favorite part of the ride? We fully expect it to be the Sturgis Rally or four-wheeling in Moab or ziplining in Colorado, but every year the answer is exactly the same. The people in the towns, and the complete strangers who hugged them, wrapped them in love, and showed them appreciation. Except they're not strangers anymore. The vets know them by name. There's Frank and Kim in Colorado, Miss Kay in Utah, ALR in Wyoming. They've now become Facebook friends, text buddies, or modern pen pals. And the veterans know that without a doubt, if they ever needed anything on this planet, those strangers would now drop whatever they're doing and come to help them in a heartbeat. And every veteran always says the same thing. They gave me hope. I had hope for the first time in many, many years. So I tell you this story because somewhere a veteran, a Gold Star mother, or a disadvantaged child is saying your name. You have changed the life of someone, whether you realize it or not, or you would not be here today. You have given somebody hope, and you have given me hope through this very award. To make a difference in the world of veterans, you don't need bottomless funds, you don't need astronomical feats of strength. My dad used to say 90% is just showing up. Just be there for a cup of coffee or a lawn mowed or a ride to a doctor's appointment. It probably means more than most of you realize. This last week, we lost 2 American Special Forces heroes in Afghanistan. They were both younger than me, both had completed multiple combat tours, and both had families. And out of all the kind thoughts and prayers that were said for them, one statement truly stood out to me. It is now up to us, the living, to understand why they fought and to never forget the valor in which they died. Thank you for everything that you do. Thank you to my husband, who's in heaven right now with all of these beautiful women. Where's Miss Ruth from Michigan? She said, if you get nervous up there, picture everybody naked. So, and then my husband almost passed out. So no, thank you truly for this. Thank you to the incredible service women that I've been able to meet through this. I feel like we're the closest of friends already. Thank you to the post that nominated me out in Maryland, and thank you for everything. So.
Chief Warrant Officer 3, the American Legion Auxiliary is honored to recognize you for your outstanding contribution to both the U.S. Army and in your community. Please remain on the stage while we honor members of the remaining branches of service. The next two awards will be read by past National President Nancy Brown Park.
Thank you, Carlene. That was amazing. Representing the Coast Guard, it is my pleasure to introduce to you Petty Officer Elizabeth Beth Hayworth. Petty Officer Elizabeth Beth Hayworth, originally from Savannah, Georgia, currently serves aboard the U.S. Coast Guard cutter Northland, a medium endurance cutter which is home ported in Portsmouth, Virginia. She serves as the Auxiliary Engineer Department and Main Prop Department, where she is instrumental in many repair projects aboard the ship, both in port and emergency duty while the ship is underway. Her ship has been deployed to assist with drug enforcement in the Caribbean, as well as recently serving as the command control ship during Hurricane Maria. Additional duties on the ship include transferring over 20,000 kilograms of contraband to and from the cutter. She is also one of two barbers on the cutter, where she ensures during the long patrols that all personnel's hair is cut and adheres to proper United States Coast Guard uniform standards, which totals over 400 haircuts a patrol. Prior to her service on the Northland, she was a member of the Aids to Navigation team in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, and the Naval Engineering Department in Miami, Florida, where she was instrumental in developing the United States Coast Guard's new Fast Response Cutters Maintenance Procedure Manual. She also partnered with the commercial contractors to develop the maintenance procedures to complete overall instructions for the new vessels. As of June 1st, she was transferred to Yorktown, Virginia, to become an instructor to the MKA school. During her career, she has volunteered for several organizations, including constructing doghouses for the Norfolk Canine Police Dogs, Animal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals events, and volunteered to make props for the Virginia Beach Civic League Halloween for Children. She also volunteers for Meals on Wheels, Habitat for Humanity, and Toys for Tots. She has volunteered at a local children's hospice doing yard work and maintenance. Petty Officer Hayworth serves as an applied suicide intervention skills team member and a sexual assault victims advocate for the United States Coast Guard, and Diversity Advisor Council board member, and helped organize several events such as Ratting Day and Speed Mentoring, along with facilitating diversity and cultural awareness events. Petty Officer Hayworth individual military awards include numerous achievements awards, meritorious commendation ribbons, humanitarian service medals, and Sailor of the Year in 2017, just to name a few. Please help me thank her for her service as we welcome Petty Officer Elizabeth Hayworth to the stage.
Wow, this is amazing. Thank you so much, everyone. I'd like to thank the American Legion Auxiliary for this wonderful recognition, and Miss Eva Wallace for all her hard work in nominating me. Thank you. My name is Petty Officer, First Class Machinery Technician Elizabeth Hayworth. I just made E6 last month, and thank you. And just hit my 8-year mark last week, so I'm moving up in the ranks nicely, and I love being in charge. So my rate is a machinery technician, which basically is a marine diesel mechanic, second biggest rate in the Coast Guard. I repair everything from main diesel engines to generators to water making systems to hydraulic steering and all in between. If it's broken, I fix it. Even though we have the second biggest rate in the Coast Guard, there's less than 10% of female machinery technicians, so we're kind of a unicorn in a big crowd. I've been stationed at 4 units in my career, and I've been the only female engineer at 3 out of 4 of them. And currently, right now, I'm the only female engineer and in charge. I love it. That might discourage many, but it drives me, actually, no matter what I'm faced with. I'm great at what I do, and I'm often the go-to for problem solving and repairs. If we're on the boat, I'll get woken up at 2 o'clock in the morning. Hey, MK1, the water making machine's broken. There's water spraying everywhere. We need you to fix it. Okay, and I get up out of my rack. Or if it's 2200, I just hit the rack. Go fast alarm goes off. Hey, we're bringing a bunch of drugs on board. We need you to operate the crane, and I'm bringing bales and bales and bales of cocaine, contraband, marijuana, whatever you think, on deck safely. No problem. I'm there to rise to the challenge. Coast Guard has offered me many opportunities to succeed, and I've been lucky in my career. I've had amazing superiors that have guided me on how to grow my rate and how to be a great teacher and a great leader. I can't say that I haven't been discriminated as a female engineer, but I've learned to brush it off and just continue to push through the pack and learn as much as I can on the way. You know, thank you. You can't change the way people feel, but I feel that to overcome this discrimination, I have to be more knowledgeable, faster, stronger, smarter than all the males, and I have been. Because I'm a firm believer that the only person that can stop me is me, and I don't intend to do that anytime soon. There's been many brave females before me that paved the way in the Coast Guard. In World War I, we had the first female uniform members to enlist to the SPARs in World War II, which grew over 11,000 women serving their country in reserves. In 1977, first woman allowed to serve at sea aboard the cutters, and as of right now, all cutters, every unit is open to all female rates. And in 1978, the Coast Guard opened all the rates to the females, thus letting me become a female engineer and doing what I love. In 1979, the first female commanding afloat officer was able to take a cutter underway and be in charge. These women were not only brave for going above and beyond to serve their country, they also paved the way for me and other future female engineers and other female rates in the Coast Guard. So I dedicate this recognition to those who came before me, because without them paving the way, I wouldn't be covered in oil, fuel, and grease, and anything else an engine can throw at me, and I love doing it every day. So I thank you, and thank you for the honor and privilege of this recognition. Thank you.
Petty Officer Elizabeth Hayworth, the American Legion Auxiliary, is honored to recognize you for your outstanding contribution to both the U.S. Coast Guard and in your community. Please remain on stage while we honor members of the remaining branches of the service. Representing the United States Marine Corps is Colonel Jennifer E. Shar. She is a native of Indianapolis, Indiana. She is a graduate of the United States Academy and was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps in 1992. Colonel Shar has served as Financial Management Officer in both operational and support commands. Her billets include Battalion Physical Officer 4, HQSVCBM. Maybe she'll tell us what that is. U.S. Marine Corps Forces Atlantic Contingency Management Officer and Military Payoff Policy Officer. Headquarters Defense Finance and Accounting Services, Deputy Controller, Marine Corps Base Guantanamo Comptroller, 3rd Marine Division, Civil Military Affairs Officer in support of Operation Iraqi Freedom with the 1st Marine Division, Program Objectives Memorandum, POM, Branch Head, P8, U.S. Marine Corps Forces Command. She has served at Headquarters, Marine Corps and Department of the Navy. Colonel Shar reviews and recommends selections of candidates to the Annapolis for Representative Duncan Hunter, California. Colonel Shar is a graduate of the Naval Postgraduate School, where she earned an MS in Management, and U.S. Army War College, where she earned an MA in Strategic Studies. She also served as a Congressional Fellow representing the Marine Corps on Capitol Hill. Please help me thank her for her service as we welcome Colonel Shar.
Oh gosh. Wow. Oh my gosh. Has anybody ever been like kind of at the edge of the world, whether it was in the ocean or on top of a mountain? That's what this kind of feels like, and I feel like I'm staring at a whole lot of stars. Wow. I'm actually in total awe right now. You all are the definition of selfless service, and it's an honor just to be in your presence. So thank you so much for letting me be here today. Last night I had the opportunity to have dinner with 3 of your former presidents and some incredible women who are currently serving, which you've all just met. And it was a humbling experience. And I got to listen to your presidents talk about the stories that they had in the American Legion Auxiliary. And each one of them has over 50 years of service to this organization. And I mean, wow. How do you top that? I mean, that's amazing, right? I mean, oh my God, please, everyone. And what I found out is that, obviously, some of you have served in uniform. All of you have served with someone in uniform. And all of you, it seems, have influenced younger generations to join the military or some sort of service. In talking to them, they had sons and daughters that served and grandchildren that served. And in a world where very, very small part of the population is even eligible to serve, and an even smaller population raised their hand, the very fact that that is very much a part of this organization is absolutely incredible. So I thank you for everything that you all do to influence young individuals to go into a life of service. It really makes a difference, so thank you. Everyone has a story for why they joined, right? Some people joined because they needed to find a way to pay for college. Some joined because they're a legacy. They're the 3rd and 4th generation. Some joined for the challenge. And some just joined to escape and to find something better in life. And my story is no different. I don't think I could talk to any of the ladies you just recognized, and their story would be any different. Everybody has a little bit spin on it. But what fascinates me is why we continue to serve. Why do you keep coming back for more? What is it about the military and service and selfless service. And it all comes down to two things, and we talked about this last night. There's something about serving for a cause that's greater than yourself. And the second thing I'll throw out there is it's all about the people. And you wouldn't stay somewhere if you didn't love what you were doing and you didn't love the people you were working with. And that's what military service, that's what organizations like you bring out in people. They bring out the best of people that truly make a difference everywhere they go. And while we all have those defining moments that keep us coming back, I wanted to share one in particular. I'm hoping it resonates with this particular audience. About 10, 12 years ago, I got orders to Norfolk, Virginia, and I was lucky enough to spend basically the last 8 months of my mother's life with her because they put me in a duty station to where she was located. And quite frankly, some people might call that happenstance because I didn't tell anybody. Some people might think that was divine intervention. I don't care why I was there. I got to spend the last 8 months of my mother with my mother. And when she died, she hadn't been in that town very long, so she didn't really have a good base of family and friends. And quite frankly, I had been there even less time, which means I sure heck didn't have a whole lot of friends and family either. And so my brother and I put together a funeral that she would want. We went to the church, and the priest comes up the aisle, and when the song is over, book closes, and there's this thunderous roar. Now, my brother and I had never turned around in the church because we figured there were about 10 people. And when we heard the noise, we turned around and realized the entire church was full. And it wasn't full of people that knew my mother. It was full of people that knew me. Because my entire command showed up to pay respects and celebrate the life of a woman they had never met and support an individual they really didn't know very well. And that speaks volumes. And my brother and I were left in that moment in total humbled silence. There were no words that we could express that would capture the essence of how we felt. And that's kind of how I feel today. I don't know how the words to express how important what you do for our veterans and our service members every single day. I don't know how to express how much that means to those individuals, those families, and to this nation. All I can tell you is that it matters. It matters greatly. And I thank you. Semper Fi.
Colonel Shar, the American Legion Auxiliary, is honored to recognize you for your outstanding contribution to both the United States Marine Corps and in your community. Please remain on stage while we honor our final service member. Chairman Jan will return to present the last award.
Representing the United States Navy, it is my pleasure to introduce Corpsman Second Class Diana Mendoza de Sanez. Hospital Corpsman Second Class Diana Mendoza de Sanez was born in Mexico and is a Texas resident. She enlisted in the Navy in 2012, completing Recruit Training Command at Great Lakes, Illinois the same year. She then went to Joint Base San Antonio, Fort Sam Houston, where she attended Hospital Corpsman A and graduated in May 2013 with distinction. Her first duty assignment was at Naval Medical Center, San Diego. During her tenure, she performed as executive assistant for the department head, held the position of patient support leading petty officer, where she managed 3 sections. She led 4 younger sailors in the process of 2,500 cremains to be buried at sea. She volunteered for on-the-job training with the X-ray department, sick call, and emergency room departments. As a master training specialist, Mendoza continued to deliver the highest quality of instruction, which reflect in her popularity with students' scores. She has recently been accepted to the Medical Service Corps as a physician's assistant. She has a bachelor's in public health from National University and has obtained her licensure as registered medical assistant, medical secretary, and allied health instructor. Her military decorations include Navy Achievement Medal II, Good Conduct Medal, National Defense Medal, Global War on Terrorism, Expert Marksmanship Medal. She is raising 3 children, 2 boys and a girl. She serves as a role model for them by volunteering to help other women and promote awareness of sexual assault. In August, she will be starting the PA program at UT Health Science University, thus extending her enlistment officer training for another 10 years. Diana totally stands for promoting family and Americanism. Unfortunately, because she was just recently promoted, she started her new duty yesterday and is unable to be with us today. But we certainly offer our congratulations to her, and we will send her her award. So, thank you. I was just going to ask you to join in saluting them again, and you have done that. Thank you so much. Madam President Kathy, this concludes my report and presentation. And they will be at the luncheon today as well, so you can see them there also.
I have cried. Ladies, please stay just a second. I have cried, I have laughed with them, but I have been so inspired by your stories. Aren't they amazing? I want to thank you so much for your service and allowing us Thank you for letting us honor you today. You are true heroes. Let's give another round of applause to all the servicewomen. And thank you, Jan, for a wonderful report and for allowing us to honor our Servicewomen of the Year. Now, please welcome from the Veterans Affairs Council of the Republic of China, Deputy Minister Li.
很谢谢邓肯总会长跟各位妇女会杰出的女性，大家早安！我很荣幸代表中华民国退伍会在这里向大家表达最大的敬意和谢意。军人保卫国家是无可取代的，各位照顾军人跟他的眷属也是无可取代的，因为你们的牺牲奉献。美国才能保卫全世界的和平与安全。 那么这照顾退伍军人是我们共同的责任。我们在蔡总统的领导之下，我们过去3年我们做了几件事情。第一件，我们完成军人的年金改革。那么我们的手的替代率是55+2，这大概是全世界最照顾军人的制度。第二，我们要帮忙军人退伍下来以后，他能够去念书，能够去就业，能够接受职业的训练。所以我们过去3年，我们把我们这一部分的经费增加了3倍。所以我们让我们的退伍军人他的就业的比例增加了57.7%。更重要的是，我们把这些经费一半给他的眷属。第三，我们要帮忙军人的家庭。我们以前给我们的军人的小孩，退伍军人的小孩，那么一个学期是2500块。那我们在今年我们增加到1万块，也就是增加4倍。那这些是过去3年来我们在蔡总统的领导之下，那么我们所做的改变。再一次的感谢各位 ，Welcome to Taiwan and good day。
Now we have a little bit of interpretation.
I will just translate. National President Ms. Duncan, distinguished guests, and most of all, the outstanding members of the American Legion Auxiliary, thank you for your warm welcome. It's my great honor to be here with the privilege of being able to address all of you. On behalf of the Veterans Affairs Council of the Republic of China, I hereby express our sincerest respect and regards to all of you. It's undeniable that the role of American Legion Auxiliary is exceptional and irreplaceable. Your hard work and selfless service has supported millions of veterans, service members, and their families and communities, both at home and abroad. It's because of the vision you embrace and the mission you carry out that has brought substantial benefits to their lives. It's because of your constant support and care that has honored their sacrifice and contributions. Your dedication to the nation is truly beyond words. The spirit of service you hold, not for self, but for veterans and country, has stabilized the society and brought a bright future. Our two organizations have shared one common sacred mission, which is to take care of our veterans and their families in many ways. We are convinced that the veterans with appropriate assistance will continue to perform their best to contribute to society. Finally, let me close by showing my appreciation to the American Legion Auxiliary for the constant support to Taiwan, and I extend my sincere welcome to you to visit Formosa, Taiwan, where I believe that you will appreciate the beautiful scenery, the diverse cuisine, and also the hospitality of Taiwanese people. Thank you so much for having me here. I wish you a very successful convention and also wish you all personal health and happiness. Thank you.
Minister Lee, thank you for joining us today, and I'd like to give you a token of our appreciation.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Very much. Thank
Appreciate
you.
it.
That's red tea in Taiwan.
I've heard about
Yeah,
this.
yeah,
Thank
okay.
you. Appreciate
Okay.
it. Thank you. Let's get a picture of this.
Thank you, and welcome to Taiwan.
Thank you, Minister Lee. As many of you know, the American Legion Auxiliary has partnered with USAA since 2011. Here with a special message, please welcome USAA's Military Affinity Relationship Manager, Janice Abadillo.
Good morning, ladies. My name is Janice Abadilla, and I'm one of the faces of USAA down in San Antonio, Texas. Where's my Texas department at? Howdy, y'all. I started at USAA 12 years ago. I was on the front lines, on the phones, speaking to members just like you. And now I have the privilege of speaking to you from this stage. When I was on the phones, I heard our members talk about the challenges of military family life, and today I'm honored to continue to hear your stories. This is my first American Legion Auxiliary Convention, and what an honor it is for me to now serve your wonderful organization. I absolutely love meeting you and learning more about how you support the military community. USAA, like the auxiliary, supports the military community as well, and we seek to be the provider of choice so that we too can be there for military families when they need us the most. As the mother of a blended family with 5 children, I understand what value an organization like USAA has when helping military families navigate through all of life's events. I've called USAA for anything from pet insurance to life insurance, and they have stood by my family for over 15 years. I know that as members of the military community, there are many of you who can attest to the challenges of military life, either experiences within your own family or possibly by observing while volunteering. The mission of the auxiliary truly speaks to my heart. It's such an important mission to support and serve the entire military community. I am so grateful to work for a company that does the same, helps provide the support you need. So thank you for your great partnership with USAA. If you aren't a member of USAA or you haven't called us for several years, stop by our booth today and we can chat about membership. By the way, did you know our military eligibility guidelines have changed? Now, all a military sponsor needs to do is establish a member number with USAA, and then their family members become eligible. Come by and check with us. We can give you more information. Or just come by and say hello. Teresa and I would love to meet you and hear about what your membership means to you. Okay, so here's a little incentive. We will be handing out the red poppy bags to the first 100 visitors at the booth today. Okay. You'll be there? Okay, just one per the first 100. Thank you for your time today, and more so, thank you for your service next to your Legionnaire. We all know you serve the military community as much as they do. Our sincerest wishes for a great convention, and thank you again for inviting us.
Thank you, Janice. Please don't leave the convention to go get those bags right now. An organization that has been a part of our lives for so many years needs dedicated, sound financial support and future planning. We've tasked our National Finance Committee with these responsibilities, and they continuously work to ensure the longevity of our organization. Please welcome our National Finance Committee Chairman, past National President, Peggy Thomas.
If I had $1 million, well, I'd buy you a house. I would buy you a house.
Good morning. The National Finance Committee has faced several challenges this year, but continues to meet today's needs as well as future fiduciary requirements. This committee is comprised of 5 appointed members, each serving a 5-year term.
Currently, the committee is made up of 3 past national presidents, a retired corporation vice president, a retired federal bank examiner auditor, and a retired certified public accountant who is also a dual member. Each member has a broad financial background. The committee collaborates with the staff on the draft budget and recommends the budget to the National Executive Committee for its adoption. This requires many open discussions and negotiations to ensure the budget aligns with the goals and priorities of this organization. In carrying out its role as fiduciary stewards, the ALA National Finance Committee is responsible for both ALA and ALA Foundation financial oversight, which includes investment planning, financial statements, member benefits, fundraising campaigns, and financial policies of the organization. To ensure the ALA National Organization is meeting nonprofit benchmarks and governmental requirements in keeping with best practices, the committee makes fiscal policy recommendations for the NEC. The National Finance Committee designates 1 committee member as a liaison member to the ALA Foundation Board, and another as liaison member to the ALA National Audit Committee. Their responsibilities are to provide information between the 2 that might impact decision-making on practices, joint training opportunities, and they are often used to bridge common areas of oversight. The fiscal performance of the national organization for the 2018-2019 fiscal year has been positive, even with the challenges with a decline in membership, which is our main source of revenue. Due to fiscal oversight, we were again able to continue to fund visits to departments by our 5 national division vice presidents and continue the department organizational effective traininess at national headquarters. Training this year was focused on financial policy and practices, and many departments sent their department treasurers and secretaries. Your Finance Committee believes strongly in the value to grassroots members of ALA mission training and national junior meetings. In fiscal year 2019, 516 members attended the 6 mission training sessions. The 6 national junior meetings had 128 attended. This was a slight decrease over last year. The successful fundraising efforts by our development staff have resulted in donations for Giving Tuesday of $21,000. Direct mail, over $500,000. And the bricks at national headquarters, $117,000 for the ALA and the ALA Foundation. Our members continue to use their auxiliary USAA credit cards. Since inception through December 2018, $45 million has been charged by cardholders, responsibly, I'm sure, resulting in a minimum of $25,000 in revenue each year to the ALA as a reward for our members' card use. Now, 90% of the annual proceeds are shared with departments each year. Previously, 50% was shared with departments. Starting fiscal 2017, that amount was raised to 90% to provide more help to our departments. Due to many years of sound, diversified investment strategies overseen by the Finance Committee,
the organization was able to purchase the beautiful new headquarters building at 3450 Founders Road here in Indianapolis. The National Finance Committee sincerely thanks their membership for adopting a national dues increase which took effect with the 2019 membership year. Deciding to increase national dues has helped us fulfill our duty of fiduciary stewardship and allow us to continue serving our mission and helping veterans. We urge each auxiliary member to continually recognize their duty of fiduciary stewardship so that the ALA will be able to be here for another generation, ensuring our mission of service continues. Thank you. Madam President, this concludes my platform remarks.
You can leave that with me. Thank you, Peggy.
All right, thank you.
As the American Legion Auxiliary nears its centennial, we are happy to report our members are more excited than ever about our history. Here to tell us all the ways our units and departments are celebrating, please welcome National History Committee Chairman, past National President Linda Newman.
And Madam President, without writing an actual history of your department's activities for the current year, which is written by the department historian, what is a history committee report? History is not just 1 year of activities, but a year of learning more about our organization. What can be learned from delving into the history of our units and departments? In Ohio, junior members are interviewing senior members via video and placing the videos on YouTube, Facebook, and other media. This has proven to be a wonderful project with responses that are amazing and memorable. One particularly priceless and at times ha-ha moment was the interaction between the junior granddaughter and the senior grandmother. This program also acquainted the juniors how to use the cell phone camera to review and interview, giving them a sense of responsibility and maturity. Ohio is also making its own history with an all-women Legion post. And while they are Legionnaires and officers of their post, they are also auxiliary members and are very active in their community. At the last Christmas season, the Legion family gave 66 local families a wonderful holiday present. Honoring the past and making history was the theme in Nebraska. Members dressed in 1920 style to the present show, a style show, twice. Even National President Kathy, in her visit, dressed as Rosie the Riveter. At the same mid-year conference, the chairman included a question and answer show. She wore her doughboy helmet and explained its significance. While Nebraska had the national president as Rosie, Maryland's member, Ruth Staples, was an original Rosie the Riveter. She started working on the railroad and remembers tamping down railroad ties and cleaning the grounds. But she also ascended a 4-story mountain of coal to insert a thermometer to make sure the coal would not spontaneously combust. I would never have thought of it. One Indiana unit historian, Cindy Kelly, and member Julie Short, traveled to Indy West Harley-Davidson to interview World War II veteran Ray Kerr. A naval fighter pilot in World War II, 95-year-old Mr. Kerr flew Hellcats. And one especially dangerous mission was to fly over Iwo Jima, where he protected the Marines who were landing on the beaches. After every mission, Mr. Kerr would say, and I quote, "It's a great day to be alive," unquote. We cannot afford to lose these memories. Talk to the veterans, particularly the women veterans, in your own post, and then maintain those interviews and memories for the next generations. Madam President, that concludes my platform remarks.
Thank you, dear. Thank you, Linda. Preserving, displaying, and sharing our history, traditions, and milestones is the purpose behind our history program. This past year has been a special time for members to look back and recognize reconnect with our organization's rich past. Here to tell us more is National Historian Brenda Collins.
Every day create your history. Every day create your history.
Madam National President Kathy, it's been a wonderful journey serving as your National Historian this year. I'm grateful for the opportunity to have served as the 99th historian for the ALA. Winston Churchill wrote, "History will be good to me, for I intend to write it." It was his way of saying, I'm going to be a winner. I pray that history will always reflect good on National President Kathy, because I've only found good to write. This year, the American Legion family participated in the Rose Bowl parade in Pasadena, California on New Year's Day. Our President Kathy, Vice President Nicole, National Commander Rysted, National Commander Gibbs of the Sons of the American Legion, and the American Legion Auxiliary Girls Nation and Boys Nation President were honored to ride on the float with active duty service members. Such a beautiful float, honoring our veterans and our 100 years of history looking to the future. Many units in New Hampshire held Old Home Days parades and set up displays in public to make people aware of what they did and our goals and how they accomplished them. Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram and other forms of social media were used to promote our history of the American Legion Auxiliary. There were projects spotlighting members, posts about national presidents, and there were numerous special projects in many departments. Anita Wells of Poplar Bluff, Missouri wrote, "History is not just remembering what we used to do, but learning from our past to make a better future." History is to be proud of because it makes us who we are today. National President Kathy was in attendance at the American Legion Centennial Conference in St. Louis. They were there to celebrate the St. Louis Caucus on May 8th of 1919. By the end of that caucus, the American Legion Constitution and Preamble were approved. The Department of Mississippi, headed by historian Diane Ballou, requested members bring small items representing the first 100 years to be placed in a time capsule. Mississippi has their first national president this year and will be celebrating their 100th year of service, so what better time to preserve their memories? The time capsule will be opened on our 150th anniversary. What a way to preserve our history. The American Legion Auxiliary Centennial Committee, headed by past National President Lyndon Newsom, has been working on ideas for the ALA celebrations of our 100th anniversary. Barbie Meyer of the Department of Nebraska says her theme, honoring the past, making history. They honored the past while celebrating the American Legion's 100th birthday. It was an honor to review the histories that were sent to be judged. This year, historians across our great nation have written the history of our organization and written it well. Unit 132 in Oro Valley, Arizona, established a technical education scholarship for local seniors in high school that were related to a veteran. I truly appreciate the hard work of the National Divisional Vice Presidents and helping select the coveted Toomey Award for the best department history. It was not an easy task, but they did it with grace and poise, and I thank you, ladies. Madam President Kathy, this concludes my platform remarks. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Brenda. Chaplains provide spiritual and emotional guidance, often in times when many of us feel lost. They are compassionate listeners who always bring dignity and love to every situation. Please welcome our National Chaplain, Dr. Deborah Blanche.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Good morning again. This year started with a wonderful visit to Mississippi for Madam Kathy Duncan's homecoming. The fellowship and the rich heritage was truly amazing, and I completed all visits to the various departments and units throughout the year. It was an honor to witness the Knights of Columbus flag-raising ceremony on July 4th, 2019. This event showcased the heroic history of our veterans past, present, and future. My travels also included being a guest speaker to provide the history of the American Legion Post 166 for the Veterans Day prayer ceremony. The courage and heroic information was accepted and wonderful. It was an honor to be on the radio show They Sacrificed for Us in Cleveland, Ohio. This was a radio show managed by American Legion family members Bob Fertino and Susan Screwfield Fertino. They provide a radio series that educates the community about what is our why. This show highlights how we, as everyday people, work together to help our veterans to obtain and enjoy a better quality of life. Prayers avail much. And we prayed every morning for the last year on our American Legion Auxiliary Chaplains Facebook page. Every Thursday prayer was dedicated to our women's veteran. And Friday's prayers was dedicated to show respect for Freedom Red Friday and to honor the service and sacrifices of all of our veterans. The spiritual unity continued with 2 successful chaplain telephone conferences every month. We fellowshiped and discussed how to help our service members, their families, and each other, and it was a blessing. In closing, as we walk into the next 100 years, let us continue to educate, work together, and follow the journey God has set just for you. Let this scripture be our guide. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up, taken from James 4, verse 10. Thank you. Madam Kathy, that concludes my report, and I do have a presentation. Mama's hat getting in the way. She's saying hello, y'all. The ambassadors and many members of this wonderful organization love you. We have a book we put together with your favorite color of scriptures, your travel, for you to enjoy and sit back and read as you have your quiet time, as you have well deserved it.
Thank you, thank you.
This bag is yours, and inside the bag, we have something for you to wrap yourself in to remember all of your wonderful members of the ALA.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, beautiful. Thank you. Let's take a picture. If you read Deborah's post every day on Facebook, they were truly inspirational, and thank you so much for doing that. You inspired me every day. Thank you, Deborah. Would past National President Jan Povamakaran please come to the podium for a special presentation?
Madam President, Pearl Barron was a native New Yorker and joined Automotive Unit 179 in New York in 1946, eligible through the World War II Air Force service of her husband, Bing. Additional eligibility was established through Bing's service in Korea and the Vietnam service of her son, Bill. She transferred her membership to the Harvey R. Hansen Unit 310 in Racine, Wisconsin, where she was honored with a life membership. She served as president 3 times, chaired all county committees, as well as serving as county president in 1963. She went on to hold district offices and served as district president from 1964 to 1966. Her capabilities were soon recognized on the department level, and she was elected department president in 1970. Her compassion, concern, and interest in others has been evidenced by her longtime interest in the handicapped and unfortunate, and has been proven with more than 25 years of involvement in the Big Sisters, Big Brothers organization. She was a county mental health volunteer and member of the Wisconsin Mental Health Association, and was acknowledged with the Woman of the Year Award for her work in this organization, and was a bell ringer many times for them. She worked with the Racine County Probation Department, worked at a Veterans Rehabilitation Center, and volunteered at Wood VA Center. Pearl was emphatic that service, not self, should be the main concern of the auxiliary, proving this by driving to and from Milwaukee as a volunteer at the VA Medical Center there for 5 years. Pearl's theme for her year as national president was Unity with Purpose. She promoted a Smithsonian Institute study of the American Indian veterans by providing a funding source through the auxiliary. Other special projects included encouraging units to establish hospices at Veteran Administration medical centers throughout the county, to provide a place of solace and comfort designed to care for the terminally ill, where they could be cared for and spend their remaining time together with their loved ones in dignity, and the establishment of the Women Resource Centers on the community level to aid troubled teens, where runaways, abused and neglected children, and pregnant teens could receive aid and the information they needed to escape their circumstances. In addition, she chose to assist the youth of the nation by providing additional scholarship funds for deserving students. At that time, the auxiliary contributed nearly $1 million each year toward scholarships. Our national news suggested the name Pearl was the perfect name for her as national president. Just as there is a luster and sheen to the gem, there is a luster and a glow which emanates from this remarkable lady. She brings sunlight to the darkest corner and has a smile for everyone she meets. She asked that there be fun and laughter as well as work in her administrative year. That was easy, as Pearl always brought a spirit of fun to every meeting in which she was involved. Yet she was extremely serious when it came to the auxiliary and its needs and the issues we faced. Patriotism was also a large part of Pearl's character and was one reason among many for joining the auxiliary. It was a means to claiming this patriotic fervor and to show her support for those men and women who fought and died to keep freedom free. This patriotism and her gregarious spirit found a true home in the auxiliary and her community in Racine. She truly reflected the volunteer spirit, which is the backbone of the auxiliary. Her enthusiasm was endless, and she had a tireless drive to accomplish what she set her heart on. Those of us privileged to call her friend knew her to be larger than life and a voice to be reckoned with. There was never a dull moment with Pearl around. She thoroughly enjoyed life, and it showed in every aspect of her life. She was a very close friend of Loretta Shillman, a past department president in Wisconsin, who also served as national historian. They traveled together often, always shared a room at convention, and we all wanted to be a mouse in the room as we all wondered how they managed to fit their electric carts, luggage, and clothes in their hotel room. I suggest that we all would have enjoyed the laughter in that room as they tried to navigate their enclosure, bumped into each other or their carts, and shared their life stories. Pearl was also in a league by herself. Rules were made to be broken when good could be accomplished. When she served as the national president, she broke with precedent and appointed another Wisconsin auxiliary member as her national parliamentarian. Barbara Kranig served in that capacity during her term in office, and Barb went on to serve as national president herself 10 years later. Prior to this unusual appointment, the national parliamentarian had always been a past national president. So Pearl, in her wisdom, set some precedents that we've all learned from. Changes can be made if they are done for the right reason, the greater good, rather than necessarily sticking to the old habits or previously outdated rules without investigating the possibility of something new and exciting and better suited to the organization. The stars have aligned once more, as we will soon witness a young lady installed as our national president at this very convention, Nicole Clapp, who served with President Pearl and Commander Jay Comer as the junior president in 1987-88, then Nicole Postgen. Pearl was generous with praise, filled with passion for her family and friends, and the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary. It was truly the love of her life, next to her wonderful family. She was indeed larger than life, a good friend, a mentor, a joy to be around. So for you, dear Pearl, I hope every day you have a great joke to enjoy and laugh at, a snifter of scotch, and a wonderful piece of chocolate to share it with. Happy trails.
Thank you, Jan, for a lovely celebration of life to honor the life of past National President Pearl Barron. The American Legion Auxiliary Foundation positively impacts the lives of our veterans, military, and their families by funding American Legion Auxiliary programs today and for future generations. Applying and receiving a Veterans Project Fund grant is easy and a fantastic way units and departments of any size can make an impact within their communities. This is a story about one of those grants that is positively changing the lives of some of our most vulnerable veterans. And I was lucky enough to witness it firsthand during my term as National President. Let's take a look.
Creative arts have long been recognized by the American Legion Auxiliary as a healing agent for our veterans in need. We've sponsored and provided volunteer workers for the National Veterans Creative Arts Festival for years. But until now, there hasn't been an ALA art therapy effort that specifically reaches out to female veterans, who often face issues different from their male counterparts. With help from a number of their members, Unit 62 in Peoria, Arizona, is addressing the psychological and social needs of local women veterans through their Heal Her Art program. This series of professionally led painting sessions is open to women veterans at no cost. Each veteran is encouraged to bring their children or a woman who they are thankful for to create side-by-side shareable art. Artist, Army veteran, and ALA Unit 62 member Dana Ramsey leads the group instruction.
I got involved in this program because I enjoy art. I use art as a way to deal with problems or issues I may be having in life, but then also to celebrate some of the joys. As a woman veteran, I know how therapeutic a program like this can be.
The women are led step by step, so previous art training isn't required. Participants are told they can paint their canvases just like the example finished piece, or they may simply use it as an inspiration to create whatever they imagine. Coordinating and partnering with outside agencies has been vital.
Here at the VA Medical Center, we're very excited to host these kinds of events because this is in line with our concept of whole health and healing. It's healing of the mind, the body, and the soul. And we look forward to continue to host these events for our veterans here at the VA Medical Center.
Veterans First is proud to partner with the American Legion Auxiliary on this program. Our focus is on women veterans, and we see women veterans on a daily basis that have post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury, and this program calms the soul and soothes them. They come in anxious and uptight, and when they leave, they're calm and they're proud of what they do, the paintings that they do and the work that they've done in this session.
And the community is involved too. Chick-fil-A donates snacks for their participants.
I'm multifaceted, and what this program has allowed me to do is explore talents that I never knew I had. I can't draw, but I found painting is very soothing. I feel very content, and I feel that I am creating something that will not only soothe me, inspire me, put me in remembrance, and be enjoyable for other people.
I get to participate as a veteran woman and also as an organizer of this event. I have seen how important this is and what it does for our veteran women and what it's done for me. It's really given me a sense of peace when I'm done completing a painting.
I enjoy painting with my fellow veterans, but the most rewarding part for me is seeing the transformation of their demeanor and attitude. The smiles at the end of the event is what really warms my heart and gives me a sense of purpose in this program.
These programs have helped tremendously for a retired professional like myself from the military to meet other women, other female veterans. So we had a great time. These are my daughters, and we had a blast.
And you better believe Unit 62 made sure the auxiliary brand was front and center.
We had a lot of fun branding all of our materials with the auxiliary brand. Our aprons, our tote boxes, our signs. Everybody knew who was sponsoring this program.
This fantastic Women's Veterans series of events is made possible with a Veteran Projects Fund grant from the American Legion Auxiliary Foundation.
Unit 62 is real honored to have a grant provided to our unit. We sure couldn't do it without our American Legion Auxiliary Foundation.
The grant process was so simple and actually was fun to do because the Auxiliary Foundation is so encouraging.
Obtaining a Veteran Projects Fund grant couldn't be easier. For more information on how your ALA unit or department can apply for a Veteran Projects Fund grant, visit alafoundation.org. Find a need, come up with an idea, apply for a grant, and witness something great.
Now I would like to recognize some of those wonderful ladies from Arizona Unit 62. Dana Ramsey, Doris Tice, Tammy Early, Nikki Cruz, and Marge Christensen. Thank you, ladies, for the awesome work that you do. Wow, talk about mission in action. That video was awesome. Here to tell us more about how our generous donors and supporters were able to make a positive impact on women veterans and their families is American Legion Auxiliary Foundation Board President Doris Hammaky.
Good morning, everyone. Wasn't that just an amazing video? You know, the best part was being backstage and watching those women watch themselves on the video. That was pretty cool. But I just love that project. And I'm so thankful that you're here today and for the great impact that you've had this past year on the American Legion Auxiliaries Foundation. This year, the foundation has much to celebrate. Through generous donations, our Mission Endowment Fund has grown to over $1.3 million. Woohoo! And as you heard earlier, much of that growth, over $116,000, came from our Legacy Brick campaign. And many of those who donated to this campaign are here in this room today. The bricks have been installed at national headquarters, so if you have some time before you leave, stop by and be sure to find your brick. But more importantly, the money raised goes to serve the programs of the American Legion Auxiliary. Thank you to all who ordered a brick or donated to the Mission Endowment Fund. This year, the foundation provided the national organization with $62,000 to support mission-centric programs. And we gave out over $90,000 in grants to our units and departments to support various projects across the country, just like the video that you watched. Our Veteran Project Fund grants supported 12 ALA entities this year. Ohio, Unit 214, expecting to hear that, Ohio, was awarded $4,800 to replace outdated furniture in the common area for veterans staying in a resource center. Pictured here is Michael, a veteran and assistant program director at the resource center. Before landing this job, Michael was a homeless veteran who used this facility to help get back on his feet. And I think it's just incredible to see that these grants supporting programs that really do change the lives of veterans. And Michael and this Transitional Housing Center is proof of that. Kentucky, Unit 193, was awarded $8,000 to help renovate showers at a female veterans transitional house. Kentucky Unit 113 was awarded $8,000 for safety and security features at this same facility, and the unit contributed another $2,000. These two grants are really impactful because they show what the ALA can do when we work together. The members of the Department of Kentucky are to be commended for all they've done to help turn a former elementary school into transitional housing for female veterans. The foundation awarded 3 local Veteran Creative Arts Festival grants this year to the Department of Missouri, Department of Vermont, and Texas Unit 320. Unit 320 was awarded $2,300 for crafting supplies, recognition, and awards for a Veterans Art Therapy class, which is put on each month by a female Air Force veteran, Miette Wells. Wells began keeping a journal when she returned home and began dealing with her struggles as both a combat and sexual assault survivor. She realized that writing really helped her and that art in virtually every form could help other veterans heal. From there, she studied psychology and began leading these art therapy classes to encourage veterans to express themselves through art in a safe and understanding community of fellow veterans. Our Mission in Action grants really took off this year, and we were able to grant 4 departments with funds to assist with ALA branding. Congratulations to the departments of Colorado, Connecticut, Illinois, and Kansas. The Department of Colorado was awarded over $700 for banners, logos, and emblems for their ALA Girl State program. They were excited to receive this grant because the branding materials are a reminder that the ALA is the reason for all the wonderful opportunities young girls have through this program. These Mission in Action grants are important in helping the American Legion Auxiliary become more recognizable in local communities for the good work that it does. And finally, because of the Foundation's nonprofit status, we were able to help 10 different units and departments with subgrants to support the mission. What a year. Think about how many hours went into each of these projects and how many veteran lives were touched because of the hard work of ALA members. It really reminds me what this is all about. I'm humbled and so thankful that the Foundation is able to play a part in each of these wonderful stories. All of us at the Foundation are so grateful for all the donors and members who give, whether that's financially or through their time spent on these projects. As many of us begin celebrating the 100th birthday of the ALA, we've started to make plans for a stronger, mission-centric future. One way you can help secure the future of the American Legion Auxiliary is to make your own plan to support our mission through the new Legacy Society. The Legacy Society is a group of people dedicated to the mission of service, not self, and they've chosen to include a planned gift to the American Legion Auxiliary or the American Legion Auxiliary Foundation in their will or estate plans. These gifts, no matter the size, will provide future financial support to the auxiliary. Thank you to the individuals listed on the screen who have already committed a planned gift to the American Legion Auxiliary. Another way that you can kickstart the future of the Foundation today is through our annual Giving Tuesday campaign. This is the Foundation's largest annual campaign, and we need your help to make it a success. So please stop by our booth, get your photo taken, and help us beat last year's total of over $21,000 raised for veterans, military, and their families. Thank you, all of our donors who make this possible. And thank you to the Foundation Board of Directors who work together to make sure we're serving veterans to the best of our ability. This year, we're thrilled to welcome Carrie Davenport, Nancy Brown Park, and Kathy Dottestell to our team. We're excited to learn from and work with you to better the foundation and the lives of our heroes. At the same time, we say goodbye and thank you to Cheryl Hanley, Sharon Knatzer, and National President Kathy Dungan, who have each made great strides in helping the foundation grow. Thank you for your hard work and dedication to our mission. And finally, thank you all for giving back to veterans, active military, and their families who have given so much to us. Madam President, this concludes our report.
Thank you, Dory. It was an easy decision to name the Foundation's Veterans Project Fund as this year's National President's Project because I strongly believe that we are all trustees of this organization, and if we are not fulfilling this responsibility, we are failing as members and leaders. Let's welcome to the stage some very special people who take this responsibility as seriously as I do. Every donor that is about to be announced donated over $2,000 to the Veterans Project Fund, and that is phenomenal. We even have 6 donors at the $3,000 plus level. Can you believe it? Wonderful. Please welcome our National President's Project top donors. Department of Arizona. Department of California. Department of Connecticut. Department of Delaware. Department of Florida. Department of Illinois. Department of Iowa. Department of Minnesota. Department of Nebraska. Department of New York. Department of Texas. Thank you all for investing in this organization's financial future. Our next report comes from a member who, for the last 50 years, has worked tirelessly for the good of the American Legion Auxiliary. More recently, this person has taken on the role of National Secretary, and I am forever grateful. Again, she worked tirelessly working for the good of the organization. We agreed she would probably only have to serve as National Secretary a few weeks. Well, please welcome in her 54th week, our National Secretary, past National President, Linda Boone.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay, you got more to say.
Excuse me.
Got more to say about me, right?
Yes, Linda, thank you for giving up a year of your retirement life to lead this great organization. She had to turn her flip-flops in for high heels. You have done a phenomenal job. I have said this more than one time. I could not have done this without you. Everyone, let's give Linda a round of applause, and thank you.
We're going to introduce the staff first.
Oh,
That's
Linda, I feel it is important that our members be able to put a face to the name of our staff. So before you give your official report, would you please introduce to our audience the wonderful national headquarters team so that they can be recognized for all of their hard work.
I'd love to. Okay. The executive team, Director Tamara Shoemate, with Angie Graham, Anita McCoy, Kathy Taylor, who many of you know, our archivist, is on her way to watch her grandson graduate from boot camp. A new addition, Harley Mannix, Shannon Hitchcock, and Director Stephanie Abbasi, and DC Director Tyra Nelson. The membership division, Kelly Harrier, Manager, Bonnie Vest, Elizabeth Shiverini, Karen Romani, Marty Drake, she's from Indiana, Sarah Heading. The Finance Division, National Treasurer and Director Sarah Regal, Susan Stewart, Amanda Ginter, Cindy Radcliffe, Deanna Geraldo, Aaron Hoffman, Michael Lynn Greyeyes. The Communications and Development Division, Director Mike Butt. Communications, Aaron Meyer, Alexa Freeman, Jennifer Donovan, Landa Bagley, Sarah Narwhal, Stephanie Holloway, Travis Perkins. In the development, Madison Maves Manager, Cindy DeLong, and Brad Oppenheim. Program and Events, Director Colette Fike, Crystal Dalton, Elizabeth Sindelwick, Christian Hensaw, and the events programs, Laura Casey, the manager, is out dealing with a special guest issue. Lauren Blakely, Nicole Chernish, Samantha Caudell. This is your team. Thank you. So you want to stand there or you want to leave? It's up to you. These are the people that make us all look good. A year ago, when National President Kathy asked me to take on the responsibility of serving as your National Secretary, we both assumed it would only be for a few months. So of course I said yes, I'd help. Well, 2 days after National Convention, I packed up my car and headed from my home in Florida to Indianapolis. As you can imagine, I packed light. How much could you possibly need for a few months? Not to mention, I'm now a Florida girl, and I don't own sweaters, cuddle duds, or a warm coat. It's now a year later, and I'm proud owner of 20 sweaters, several sets of cuddle duds, and a warmer coat. I also learned about windshield deicer and the need for a strong ice scraper. The governance responsibility of the National Corporation Secretary are outlined in the bylaws and are to, number one, record meeting proceedings. 2, keep all records for the corporation. And 3, protect the trademarks of the corporation. I can report that we have policies and procedures in place to ensure these responsibilities are met. The management responsibilities of the executive director position include the day-to-day operations of our national headquarters and staff. The experience I gained from previous careers as an executive in the for-profit and nonprofit sectors, combined with my 50 years of membership as an active member in the American Legion Auxiliary, have been advantageous to managing this complex organization. In the first few months, it seemed like there were surprise revelations daily that required exploration and solutions. National President Kathy and I spent lots of nights in long conversations. So let's discuss one of our biggest assets, our new building. The biggest challenge and investment of time and money over the last year has been the relocation of our national headquarters to the building that we purchased in June of 2017. Despite having owned the building for over a year, when I came on board, no one had established a timeline to move in, a budget, or a detailed reconfiguration plan to occupy the building. I'm happy to report that even with all those initial challenges, we managed to successfully move into the new location before our lease expired on the existing location. It was, and still is, a work in progress. We have had to create an entire new set of building management responsibilities and learn about all the mechanical and other pieces required to maintain the building. Our next biggest asset of the organization is our national headquarters staff. We discovered that there had been severe neglect in the areas of team building and compensation practices. We now have monthly all-staff meetings where all divisions share information, successes, and challenges. These meetings provide an opportunity for team building as well as the sharing of information, which helps our national headquarters team understand how valuable their work is to accomplish our mission. Additionally, compensation practices are in a place to ensure consistency. I am continually gratified that we have a broad range of talent in our staff and their mission commitment is evident, and many are active unit members. They embrace and are eager to improve processes and quality to assist our members in carrying out our mission. Probably the greatest shock that National President Kathy and I received in early October was the fact that the relationship between the American Legion and the American Legion Auxiliary was severely frayed. We invested a significant amount of effort over several weeks to start the repair and rebuild those lines of communication and relationships. We have continued this effort throughout the year and give it priority at staff and volunteer leadership levels. The American Legion has stated they are pleased with our efforts and enjoy the improved relationship. While it has been difficult snowbirding in Indianapolis, away from my sunny Florida home and husband, and of course my afternoon naps, I have enjoyed the opportunity to use my knowledge and skills to assist the organization that has been such a significant part of my life. Contributing to, Contributing to the success of the national headquarters this year has been the support of our national president, Kathy, many past national presidents, and our gifted staff. The search for an executive director continues. While I understand that not even a broken neck in December could get me sent home, beautiful picture, one day I do intend returning to my husband and sunny Florida. So to that end, we have hired a search firm out of Chicago that specializes in nonprofit executive placements. Our internal search committee, comprised of volunteers and staff, will be conducting interviews of potential candidates. This transition year has prepared us to launch into our second 100 years strong and focused. The staff looks forward to supporting the membership as we take advantage of our new membership recruitment opportunities that will provide additional resources to support our mission activities. Thanks to each of you who are so committed to this organization. Your national headquarters staff looks forward to our work together for veterans, the military, and our families. Thank you.
Talk about dedication. That's dedication right there. You know, when you try to get out of something to go as far as breaking your neck. But I said, no, not going home. You got to stay with me. Thank you so much, Linda. Updated documents allow questions about the auxiliary, its governance, programs, and eligibility to be easily answered. National Constitution and Bylaws Chairman Melanie Taylor had the privilege of working alongside departments and units determined to update their governing documents. Please welcome to the stage Melanie.
Madam National President Kathy, the Constitution, bylaws, and standing rules are the governing documents of our organization, whether it be national, department, district, county, or unit. These documents provide clearly the roles and responsibilities at all levels. They must be clearly written, reviewed, and updated as necessary. Many departments are still in the process of revising their governing documents to conform with National's revision that was completed in 2018. The American Legion Auxiliary Code of Ethics and Code of Conduct were adopted by the National Executive Committee last year and included in the National Standing Rules. They stated that members are expected to comply with this organization's governing documents and conduct themselves according to the Code of Ethics and Code of Conduct. There were many phone calls and emails this year asking for clarity and understanding of our governing documents to include the Code of Ethics and the Code of Conduct. Many departments reported creating constitution, bylaws, and standing rule templates, which were then put on their department websites. They held fall conferences and midwinter meetings, stressing the importance of updating documents, and played games and awarded prizes. The Department of Illinois reported receiving 34 unit bylaws for approval this year, and she reported receiving bylaws from a district that had never had bylaws before. Chairman Patricia made it easy for the units by providing a template along with a cheat sheet she created to help the units with revisions of their Constitution, bylaws, and standing rules. The Department of Michigan, at their fall conference, made Constitution and bylaws fun by playing a game, Candy Cab, which was an adapted version of the game show Cash Cab. The attendees were asked a question about a topic covered in the Constitution and bylaws documents. The first person to answer the question correctly won a Hershey's candy bar. The Department of Alabama scheduled 3 separate district workshops with a more in-depth discussion on the importance of strong documents to develop a culture of goodwill, which is Goal 2 of the 5-year Centennial Strategic Plan. These longer workshops provided opportunities for specific questions and reviews of all the individual units' Constitution and bylaws. During these workshops, many misunderstandings and misinformation came to light and were addressed. Their units learned the structure of the Legion family and how to work separately and together. During the Department of Florida's fall conference, a room was set up with computers and printers to use, helping the units to review and revise their governing documents. The Department Constitution and Bylaws Chairman was present to answer any questions and to assist the units in making their revisions. Once completed, the units were able to print off their finished Constitution and bylaws, which were then signed by the department chairman and president right there on the spot. Thank you and congratulations to the 51 departments who submitted their reports. With our organization looking forward to the next 100 years, our governing documents will keep the American Legion Auxiliary on track. They will continue to reflect how our organization is doing. This year's Department Constitution and Bylaws Chairmen have worked hard to fulfill our mission, educating our members on the importance of updated documents. Madam National President, this concludes my platform remarks.
Are there any proposed amendments?
Yes, Madam President, we have 2 for Constitution and bylaws and 7 for standing rules.
I would like to remind everyone that if you want to make a motion or an amendment, it needs to be on a motion form per Standing Rule 11. Motion forms are located at stage left. I'm directionally challenged. They told me to point that way. The debate will be limited to 2 minutes for each speaker. No person shall speak on the same question more than twice without the consent of the convention. I also remind you that we do have a timer here to fairly enforce this rule. The rules also state that during debate, delegates, alternates, and guests are to remain seated within their own delegation or assigned seating area unless they are approaching the microphone, completing a motion form, or exiting and entering the general session. Are there any questions? None. Melanie, please proceed with presenting the amendments.
I need your, you need my book. Yeah.
Good.
Great. Thank you. It is the responsibility of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee to bring all proposed amendments to the floor for deliberation apart from the endorsement status by the Pre-Convention Committee. Therefore, regardless of the Pre-Convention Committee's recommendation on the adoption of the amendments, I will, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, move for the adoption of all amendments. Remember, all departments and delegates received advanced copies of these amendments. Amendment number 1. Madam National President, the Constitution and Bylaws Committee presents Amendment Number 1, a proposal from the National Constitution and Bylaws a proposal from the National Constitution and Bylaws Committee to amend Constitution Article 3, Eligibility, Section 1, by substitution. If adopted, Constitution Article 3, Eligibility, Section 1 will read, eligibility for membership in the American Legion Auxiliary is determined by the American Legion. The eligibility requirements from the American Legion governing documents shall be provided as a footnote to this Constitution for information purposes and shall be updated as appropriate. This proposal includes the following consequential amendments. 1. Constitution Article 2, Section 1. Strike out the words "of women." Number 2, strike all occurrences of committeewoman and insert committee person. Number 3, strike all occurrences of she and her and insert an appropriate gender-neutral pronoun. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends that the amendment be adopted. Madam National President, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, I move the adoption of Amendment Number 1.
The question is on the adoption of Amendment Number 1 as just read. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends that the amendment be adopted. Is there any discussion? Are you ready for the question? Those in favor of Amendment 1, please press the number 1 on your voting keypad. Those opposed, press number 2. Please vote now. Voting is now closed. Please show the results. That was quick. Maybe they were not ready back there. Give us 1 second. I can't sing and I can't dance. Y'all, technology is great in some ways it's not. Like we're waiting on this, but let me tell you, I just got a text on my iWatch and I confirmed my dental appointment for September 3rd.
We have a vote count, they just can't display it at the time.
Okay.
So this is the yes, 26, and the no is 181, so at 2/3.
Is that a
Majority,
two-thirds?
it is a 2/3.
Okay. Okay, we do have a vote count. They just can't display it on the board. It requires a 2/3 vote, and the vote is affirmative 526, let me get back to my page. The negative is 181. Affirmative 526, negative 181. So the affirmative has it and the Constitution and bylaws are amended. Melanie, I would ask that you come and continue. And at this time, the Legion has asked me to come speak to them, so I will return the microphone over, and Nicole Clapp, Vice President Nicole Clapp, will fill in until I get back.
Oh, okay, good. Amendment number 2, bylaws. Amendment number 2, a proposal from the National Constitution and Bylaws Committee to amend bylaws Article 4, National Executive Committee, Section 2, authority by striking the words. If adopted, bylaws Article 4, National Executive Committee, Section 2, authority will read. The National Executive Committee shall adopt the annual budget for the national organization, adopt policies and standing rules unless otherwise noted in the national constitution or these bylaws, review financial statements and accept the national audit, ratify committees, confirm the nomination of the national secretary and the national treasurer, confirm committee and other national appointments, and confirm the appointments of officials not otherwise provided for in these bylaws, levy assessments as needed, ratify the cancellation of charters, receive for filing reports from national subsidiary organizations, and other duties and responsibilities that are the normal function of a corporate board of directors. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends that the amendment be adopted. Madam National President, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, I move the adoption of Amendment number 2.
The question is on the adoption of the Amendment number 2, as just read. The Constitution and Bylaw Pre-Convention Committee recommends that the amendment be adopted. Is there discussion? Are you ready for the question? I hear yes and I hear no. Okay, it's the staff saying no. Just a second. Okay. Technical difficulty, not you. Okay. All right, they are ready. Adoption of this amendment requires a 2/3 vote. Vote in the favor of Amendment 1, press the number 1 key on your voting keypad. Those opposed, press the number 2 key. Please vote now. What they'll be doing is they are tallying and they're relaying it to Stephanie. It's handwritten and then it's presented to us here at the podium because of the technical difficulty to relay it onto the viewing screen. Aye votes are 648, nay votes 69. The amendment has passed. The amendment has passed. The bylaws will be amended. Melanie, please continue.
Madam National President, Amendment Number 3 is to the Standing Rules, Section 6 on committees, specifically the National Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation Committee, and it was adopted by the National Strategic Planning Implementation Committee and the National Future Focus Committee. The subject is to change the structure of the National Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation Committee. If adopted, this section will read as follows. The Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation Committee shall be comprised of a chairman who shall serve a one-year term, a vice chairman, and one member serving staggered two-year terms, one of whom shall be appointed each year to a two-year term, and a representative from each national division who shall serve a one-year term. The Vice President shall serve as the National Veterans Affairs Voluntary Service, VAVS, representative, and the member shall serve as the National VAVS Deputy Representative. With the proviso that if adopted, this amendment will not go into effect until the close of the 2020 ALA National Convention. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Madam National President, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, I move the adoption of Standing Rules Amendment Number 3 as just read.
The question is on the adoption of Standing Rule Amendment Number 3 as just read. The Constitution and Bylaw Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Is there any discussion? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of Standing Rule Amendment Number 3, press number 1 key on your voting keypad. All those opposed, press number 2 key on your voting keypad. Please vote now. Success and congratulations. The affirmatives have it. The amendment is adopted. Please continue, Melanie.
Madam National President, Amendment Number 4 is to the Standing Rules, Section 6 on committees, specifically the National Education Committee, and was submitted by the National Strategic Planning Implementation Committee and the National Future Focus Committee. The subject is changes to the structure of the National Education Committee. If adopted, the section will read as follows. The Education Committee shall be comprised of a chairman serving a one-year term, a vice chairman, and one member serving staggered two-year terms, one whom shall be appointed each year to a two-year term, plus a representative from each national division, all of whom shall serve a one-year term, with the proviso that, if adopted, this amendment will not go into effect until the close of the 2020 ALA National Convention. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Madam President, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, I move the adoption of Standing Rules Amendment 4 as just read. The question is on the adoption of Standing Rule Amendment Number 4 as just read.
The Constitution and Bylaw Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Is there any discussion? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of Standing Rule Amendment number 4, please press 1 key on your voting keypad. All those opposed, please press the number 2 key on your voting keypad. Please vote now. Please show the results. The amendment has passed. The amendment will be adopted. Please continue, Melanie.
Madam National President, Amendment number 5 is to the Standing Rules, Section 6 on committees, specifically the National Constitution and Bylaws Committee, and was submitted by the National Strategic Planning Implementation Committee and the National Future Focus Committee. The subject is changes to the structure of the National Constitution and Bylaws Committee. Please note the word committee was inadvertently omitted from the second sentence after the words Constitution and Bylaws. If adopted, the section will read as follows. The Constitution and Bylaws Committee shall be comprised of a chairman and a vice chairman, all of whom shall serve a one-year term. The purpose of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee is to inform members about having proper governing documents at all levels, with the proviso that, if adopted, this amendment will not go into effect until the close of the 2020 ALA National Convention. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends that the amendment be adopted. Madam President, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, I move the adoption of the Standing Rules Amendment number 5 as just read.
If there is no objection, the word committee will be added in the second sentence. Thank you. The word committee will be added. The question is on the adoption of the Standing Rules Amendment number 5. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Is there any discussion? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of Standing Rules Amendment number 5, please press number 1 on your voting keypad. All those opposed, please press number 2 key. Please vote now. The voting is now closed. Please show the results. The affirmative has it, and the amendment is adopted. Please continue, Melanie.
Madam National President, Amendment 6 is to the Standing Rules, Section 6 on committees, specifically the National Americanism, National Security, Legislative, POPI, Community Service, Auxiliary Emergency Fund, Leadership, and Public Relations Committees, and was submitted by the National Strategic Planning Implementation Committee and the National Future Focus Committee. The subject is changes to the structure of the National Americanism, National Security, Legislative, POPI, Community Service, Auxiliary Emergency Fund, Leadership, and Public Relations Committees. Please note that the words "a vice chairman" were inadvertently omitted from the second column. If adopted, each individual section will read as follows: the Americanism, national security, legislative, POPI, community service, auxiliary emergency fund, leadership, and public relations committees, respectively, shall be comprised of a chairman, a vice chairman, plus a representative from each national division, all of whom shall serve a one-year term. With the proviso that, if adopted, this amendment will not go into effect until the close of the 2020 ALA National Convention. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Madam President, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, I move the adoption of the Standing Rules Amendment number 6 as just read.
The question is on the adoption of Standing Rule Amendment number 6 as just read. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Is there any discussion? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of Standing Rules Amendment number 6, please press number 1 key on your voting keypad. All those opposed, please press number 2 on your keypad. Please vote now. Voting is now closed. Please show the results. The affirmative has it, and the amendment will be adopted. Melanie, please continue.
Madam National President, Amendment number 7 is to the Standing Rules, Section 6 on committees, specifically the National History, Liaison to the American Legion Child Welfare Foundation, and past President's Parley Committees, and was submitted by the National Strategic Planning Implementation Committee and the National Future Focus Committee. The subject is removal of the History, Child Welfare Foundation, and past President's Parley Committees. The proposed changes would amend Standing Rule 6, and if adopted, number 1 will read as follows. As provided in the national bylaws, in addition to the core national standing committees, Veterans Affairs and Rehabilitation, Children and Youth, Americanism, National Security, Membership, Constitution and Bylaws, Finance and Audit, there shall be the following national committees: Auxiliary Emergency Fund, Community Service, Education, American Legion Auxiliary Girls Nation, Junior Activities, Leadership, Legislative, POPI, and Public Relations. The overall purpose of each standing committee is as specified in this section. The purpose of each national committee is as described in the American Legion Auxiliary National Program Action Plan. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted, with the proviso that if adopted, this amendment will not go into effect until the close of the 2020 ALA National Convention. Madam President, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, I move the adoption of Standing Rules Amendment number 7 as just read.
The question is on the adoption of Standing Rule Amendment number 7 as just read. The Constitution and Bylaw Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Is there any discussion? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of Standing Rules Amendment number 7, please press number 1 on your voting keypad. All those opposed, please press number 2 on your voting keypad. Please vote now. Voting is now closed. Please show the results. The affirmative has it, and the amendment has been adopted. Melanie, please continue.
Madam, excuse me, I just had a spot. Madam National President, Amendment number 8 is to the Standing Rules, Section 4, on duties of national officers. The subject is duties of the National Historian. If adopted, Standing Rule 4 will read as follows. The National Historian shall be responsible for compiling and sending to the departments an outline and rules for department histories that are to be submitted in contest for the national award. Judging of the department histories shall be done by the 5 National Division Vice Presidents under the supervision of the National Historian. The National Historian shall also be responsible for communicating to departments the importance of keeping and preserving a written record and of collecting, categorizing, and preserving American Legion Auxiliary memorabilia. With the proviso that, if adopted, this amendment will not go into effect until the close of the 2020 ALA National Convention. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendments be adopted. Madam President, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, I move the adoption of Standing Rules Amendment number 8 as just read.
The question is on the adoption of Standing Rules Amendment number 8 as just read. The Constitution and Bylaw Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Is there any discussion? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of Standing Rules Amendment number 8, please press 1 on your voting keypad. All opposed, please press the number 2 key. Please vote now. That was almost perfect timing. Voting is now closed. Please show the results. The affirmative has it, and the amendment will be adopted. Melanie, please continue.
Madam National President, Amendment number 9 is to the Standing Rules, Section 6, on committees, specifically the National Children and Youth Committee. The subject is changes to the composition of the National Children and Youth Committee. If adopted, Standing Rule 6 will read as follows. The Children and Youth Committee shall be comprised of a chairman, a vice chairman, and 1 committee member, which shall serve as a liaison to the Child Welfare Foundation and may be a past national president, plus a representative from each national division, all of whom shall serve a 1-year term. The purpose of the Children and Youth Committee is to work collaboratively with the American Legion to promote programs that protect, care for, and support children and youth, especially those of our military and veterans. With the proviso that if adopted, this amendment will not go into effect until the close of the 2020 ALA National Convention. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Madam President, on behalf of the Constitution and Bylaws Committee, I move the adoption of Standing Rules Amendment number 9 as just read.
The question is on the adoption of Standing Rules Amendment Number 9, as just read. The Constitution and Bylaws Pre-Convention Committee recommends the amendment be adopted. Is there any discussion? Are you ready for the question? All those in favor of Standing Rules Amendment Number 9, press the number 1 key on the voting keypad. All those opposed, please press the number 2 key. Please vote now. Please show the results. The affirmative has it, and the amendment is adopted. Thank you, Melanie. Great job. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, ladies. We appreciate your due diligence in that aspect of the Constitution and bylaws. Would National Secretary please give us the convention updates?
Surprises, surprises. All right. Okay, just to make sure you all know where the luncheon is, it's in the Sagamore rooms 3 and 5. The doors open at 12:15. We'll have lunch at Woman of the Year lunch at 12:30. And then for those of you going to the National Commanders Banquet tonight, it starts at 6 p.m. and it's in Hall J and K. Now, for somewhat surprise, Vice President Pence is going to speak to the American Legion at 1 o'clock tomorrow. We will be adjourned, so you will be able to, or recessed, so you will be able to go to that before the installation at 2:30. Because of that, there'll be lots of security in the building. Additionally, we're fortunate that the national president will be presenting the Public Spirit Award to Mrs. Pence at 11 a.m. here tomorrow. So we have a special guest tomorrow. So as you can imagine, so Secret Service and everybody's been all over the building the last couple of days. So 6 a.m., the magnetometers are going to be in place at the Maryland Street Landing entrance, which is by the food court. And the other location is at the JW Marriott Skywalk. The more you bring with you to the convention center, the longer it will take you to get through security. So pack light tomorrow, ladies. The other thing is when Mrs. Pence, and we'll announce this again, but when Mrs. Pence is here, you can't run up and take pictures. You stay in your seat unless you want to be tackled by a Secret Service man or woman. Well, I better tell them to bring extra. I've been away from home for a long time, too. Okay, so your reward for behaving yourself tomorrow is that we won't start till 8:30. Okay, there are still some departments that haven't picked up their mail at all, so you need to get there and pick up your mail in the room 103. And because of the security around both Mr. Pence and Mrs. Pence, the mail room and flower room will be closed tomorrow, Wednesday at 12:30. Okay, so pick up all your mail and corsages by 12:30 tomorrow. Okay, And for those that may still have a little bit of a fat wallet left, we have some incredibly generous people in the room. Our Giving Tuesday total has hit $8,000, and we have another donor who has given $1,000 to be matched. So you have time between now and the luncheon to go empty your wallet, make it a little bit lighter to carry around. So please support the foundation and our Giving Tuesday campaign. Madam President, that's all.
Thank you, Linda. The meeting is adjourned until tomorrow morning, and it says 8, but I heard the good news, 8:30 a.m., when we will be back, obviously, in Hall C. Have a great afternoon, ladies.
It's your thing. Do what you want.